To join us on the show, call toll-free 988-5470, 988-5470, or 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470. And now, back to Interstellar Transmissions.
I'd like to take this opportunity to ask every person listening in, whoever, wherever they may be, to pause for a moment and contemplate the events of the past few hours and to give thanks in his or her own way.
And rightfully so, considering that even Richard Nixon said that it was the greatest week since the creation. 1969, July 20th, man first landed on the moon and set foot upon the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. And we're celebrating that today, not just looking back at the past, but also looking forward towards the future. We're talking with John Barnes, who is co-author of the book, The Return with Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin. And we are very honored, in addition to having John Barnes, who is still with us after the first segment, we're also very honored to have Dr. Buzz Aldrin on a broadcast of Interstellar Transmissions. Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening. Hi, John. Hi, Buzz. Yeah, I had a wonderful day. Two-tank dive here in St. Thomas. I had a couple of dives yesterday, but I was out on a friend's sailboat. We got a nice, good-sized lobster and saw all sorts of tarpon and turtles and eagle rays.
Yeah, I should point out that Dr. Aldrin is not only an astronaut, he was also an aquanaut. Sir, you were very instrumental in having the neutral buoyancy weightless simulator installed for the purposes of training, were you not?
Yes, a number of the earlier spacewalks seemed to have difficulty maintaining body position so they could do the appropriate work without slipping and drifting off into unusual positions. I was given an opportunity to train underwater in a neutral buoyancy facility in a swimming pool in Baltimore, and being a scuba diver for quite a few years before that, I could see the great benefit. So it really helped in the training for Gemini 12, and we had a very successful 3 different EVA spacewalks during that, and since then everyone has been training in neutral buoyancy underwater for the spacewalks, especially for the space station.
That wasn't the only idea that you had developed at the point for the Apollo program. Your work was also in dealing with orbital rendezvous, which is an idea that you and Mr. Barnes have put together into your books. Would you care to tell our listeners more about that?
Well, yes. In 1959 and 1960, I was at MIT, and I was enrolled in an extended program for a doctoral degree, and I thought around as to what I could possibly do that would be useful for the Air Force in the next 15 years. And I knew how to intercept other airplanes in the air. I shot down 2 MiGs in Korea. So I thought what would be very useful was to study and write a thesis on rendezvous in space, or how to intercept other satellites, friendly ones, of course. And this fit very nicely into the Gemini program. And since then, the essence of the tactics that I developed there and training methods for assuring that the pilot conducting the rendezvous could understand what was going on quite well and could take corrective action if some of the major components failed. So rendezvous is a pretty much accepted, fairly commonplace activity now. We send the shuttle up and it rendezvous with the space station, and we're doing that all the time.
But in your novels, you projected it a step further.
Well, the meeting that brought us together was because John had written a book called Orbital Resonance, where there was an asteroid that was guided into a particular repeating orbit between Earth and Mars. And it turns out that I had been developing sort of sophisticated cycling orbits between Earth and the Moon to facilitate ways of taking people back to the Moon, but I was also working on cycling orbits between Earth and Mars. And those are continuing to be developed now, and I think they stand to be a very good method of establishing sustaining activities, whether you're visiting the an asteroid, perhaps, and then wanting to come back and swing by Earth and then go back to the asteroid, or whether you're doing this at Mars.
Very interesting. One of the questions that sort of comes from that is, as Joey Reynolds had mentioned, we're 33 years from the landing on the moon. What do you gentlemen see the future 33 years from today being?
Well, I guess 33 years from today, right now I'm afraid that it looks like we may still be flying the shuttle in 20 years. So some things have to turn around a good bit in the economy and world conditions to enable us to develop first, I think, passenger travel or private citizen opportunities to travel into space. And the Russians are doing that now every 6 months or so. And as soon as we can privatize the U.S. space shuttle, I hope that we'll be taking 1, 2, 3 seats of private citizens up on the shuttle to kind of lay the groundwork for when we can design the next space shuttle, hopefully that can